Please enjoy. Hey, what is up guys? It is Smike here, and today I'm going to be showing you my top 10 facts about the mangle. This idea was suggested video. So thanks man. So up at number 10 is that Mangle was originally supposed to be a toy version of Foxy, the same way as, for example, Toy Freddy is a toy version of Freddy. However, a phone guy explains to you that because Mangle was taken apart by children, it became a take apart and put attraction. And more so, it's actually possible that Scott originally planned the Mangle to be a normal walking animatronic, because if you look at this teaser poster the second game, you can see that the Mangle still has his hook, which has been removed by the time the game was released. And now for fact number 9 is that if you happen to glance upon the Kids Cove camera, you might see him laying on the ground with an eyeball next to him. And if you check on that same room again, when Mangle is gone, you'll notice that the eyeball is gone. So yeah, this is just a very small detail that's got over. Nothing really too big, of course, but still pretty interesting. And now for fact number 8 is that there's actually a very small chance that the Mangle might be active on night 1. If you saw my top 10 Foxy facts video, you know that the exact same thing can happen with Foxy in this game, except in Foxy's case, you wait a very long time without checking the cameras for it to happen, while in Mangle's case, how much check the cameras. And now for fact is that Mangle is actually the likeliest suspect for the bite of 87, before it used to be. But now we know that that is actually quite unlikely, because in the second game, Foxy is actually discontinued and kept in the back room. While on the other hand, we all know that Mangle has plenty of human contact, and also the way he attacks you. He bites you where your frontal lobe would be. And since we know that whoever was the victim of the bite of 87 got his frontal lobe bitten off, this all makes the Mangle a pretty convincing suspect for the bite. And yeah, so the most is that Jeremy got bitten by Mangle while attending a birthday party during day shift, especially considering the fact that he was told to wear his uniform and stay close to the animatronics, which increases his chances of getting bit. And now for number 6 is that people have been reporting that it appears that when Mangle enters your office, it seems to have some kind of an effect on the other animatronics, whereas they actually get more hyperactive. They generally start to move faster. One explanation for this is that the Mangle's sort of broken radio somehow has an effect on the other animatronics when they hear it. But yeah, do take this with a grain of salt, because even though people have been reporting it to happen, it's not officially confirmed. And after number 5 is that there is a big debate going on about the Mangle's gender. There is actually evidence supporting both sides. For example, the evidence for Mangle as a female is, first of all, it has kind of a female look to it, and also it's one of the active animatronics during the Custom Night Challenge Ladies Night. However, there's also evidence out there that boy, for example, that the phone guy refers to him as a he. And then for fact number 4, if Mangle happens to get into your office, it is still technically possible to survive the whole night. The reason why is because the time when Mangle attacks you is completely random, very similarly to how Freddy attacks you in the first game, whereas if he gets into your office you have no idea when he's actually going to jump scare you. However, this happens extremely rarely, and usually if Mangle gets into your office you're pretty much screwed. And now for fact number 3 is, have you ever noticed that Mangle actually has a second endoskeleton head on his shoulder? And you might be wondering, why is that? Some people say this belongs to a separate animatronic. However, it is not very likely that he accidentally, got someone else's head stuck on him. And the most probable answer actually is that this belongs to a parrot, and that the Mangle originally had a parrot on his shoulder. I mean, after all, the Mangle is a toy version of Foxy, and Foxy, as we all know, is a pirate. And pirates very often have parrots on their shoulders. And this leads me to fact number 2. It's very probable Mangle was inspired by Rolf the Wolf and Earl Schmerl. Rolf the Wolf, who is actually a wolf mechanic from the Rockafire explosion, and of course his sidekick Earl Schmerl, who is his puppet, whereas a parallel may be drawn between the parrot on the Mangle's shoulder and Rolf's puppet. And because the toy versions of the animatronics have a much higher production budget, to the point where they actually have facial recognition software, so it wouldn't be too hard to upgrade the Mangle and to give him a parrot edition. And now finally for fact number 1 is that if you analyze the Mangle's static, you will find that he's actually very probably trying to call the police. How do we know this? Well, if you listen to it very closely, you will hear that at some points it says 10-1, and if you Google police codes, you will see that 10-1 means bad reception. But yeah, otherwise, I made a whole video on this where I explain what I think the Mangle static means, and the video is called The Mangle's Dark Secret, so if you're interested,
like the video, subscribe, and check out Smike. and all the others. And have a good day. Goodbye!